I think. Today we're going to talk about why America lost the. Today we're going to the Vietnam War, kids. And so, yeah, this is a fun story. Fun fact, this thing in the 70s called the Vietnam War, and what do I say? It was bad. It wasn't a good war, not at all. It was like America was like communism, and so they just kind of like went and invaded and did all this dumb stuff, bad stuff to Vietnam because they were communism. Like who is the bad guys again? Okay, so North Vietnam was like communism good. South Vietnam was like communism bad. America was like, yeah, communism bad. And so what they did was they started backing South Vietnam because they were just on like a communism thing. They don't like it a lot. Yeah, they did some dumb stuff in Vietnam. We lost really bad. Here's a couple reasons why we lost. Okay, first thing, you know when you see something bad happen and it's like, man, that kind of sucks. My day is ruined. That was basically what was happening all the time to all the American soldiers in Vietnam. Unlike World War II, which America came in and did the cool thing, America was not doing the cool thing. They were doing the bad thing. What they did was, like, so since the Vietnamese weren't as bad as Nazis, and more people in Vietnam were just wanting to avoid the conflict. So there were just like people like living in villages and like towns and cities who wanted to just avoid the conflict and live their life, and they were usually in the crossfire of the Vietnam War. The American soldiers had to do these really horrible things, and they had to see really horrible things. Friends they made in the war. They sleep in the same houses, they eat in the same places, and they were good friends with each other. They had to see their friends killed, which leads to worse performance in the battlefield, which leads to more people dying, which leads to less morale, which leads to more people dying, and so on. It was just a really bad cycle. Like a really bad cycle, like a unicycle. Kill me. If they won the Vietnam War, so what? What happens now? Like, what do they do next? Vietnam isn't very strategic. It's not a world superpower. It doesn't have that much going on and influencing the world. It's just kind of there, like New Zealand. Or Ohio, just kind of doing its thing. Communism stop. Hooray. What next? They would lose more than they would gain from that. People would hate them because they've been like killing their families, their friends, their neighbors, all the people they know and love, while they were getting caught in the crossfire of this pointless war. So, just kind of what's the point, you know? And third is that the American public was sick of the war too, because, you know, that was like their friends were getting drafted, and their family members and their sons and their daughters, they're getting drafted and forced into fighting and dying for a country whose... There's a crumb in this. There were hundreds of protests. Like, on Wikipedia, from 1963 to 1973, there are a total recorded 148 protests. And again, that's just the ones that were officially listed and recorded and organized and all that. There was obviously, like, people were sick of it. They didn't want this happening. They organized events and concerts and made songs, you know, if the government didn't do something, then the protests were only going to get worse and worse, and more violent and more severe. Yeah, that's it. Shut up.